Hey DC Collectors, welcome to a brand new episode of the show. Today we're taking a look at the retro action DC Superheroes Guy Gardner action figure from Mattel. But before we get into this review, if you will, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and share this content with all of your DC Comics fan friends. I sure would appreciate it. Now on to the review. First up, we're going to take a look at the packaging for this figure. If you don't recognize this particular action figure line, that's okay. It was released in 2010 from Mattel, and it was their attempt to capture the nostalgia from the classic Mego line of the 70s and early 80s. That sort of 8 inch, I think it was 8 inch action figure featuring cloth goods. Now, if you've been following this channel for any length of time, you know that I absolutely loathe cloth goods on this scale action figure. If it's a Hot Toys 12 inch figure, I'm all for it. Anything below that though, I'm not a fan of cloth goods. But this is Guy Gardner. Who doesn't want Guy Gardner? But I can already see I'm going to have some issues with this thing just looking at it in the package, but we'll get over that. So first, let's take a look at the packaging here. Of course, this particular wave included not only Guy Gardner, but John Stewart, Sinestro, and Kyle Rayner. So this is a Green Lantern line. Back of the box just gives you some classic artwork of those 4 characters. Look at the UPC in case you needed that. The bottom of the box, that's it. Gives you some holes in there, I guess, to let the figure breathe. I don't know, maybe because it's got cloth goods, who knows, I don't know. Top of the packaging looks like that, but overall just a single card with a bubble and the figure inside of it. So now let's open this guy up and let's play. Okay, so here is Guy Gardner out of the package. First, we're going to get a size measurement on this because I've been getting people asking me, hey, give me that size, give me that size. So we're going to bring out the tape measure. We're going to put him up right here, and he is an 8 inch action figure. So this line is definitely 8 inch and intended to copy the Mego brand line of action figures back in the 70s and 80s. Up first, let's take a look at his accessories. He comes with a Green Lantern power battery. Pretty cool battery. I like it a good bit here. Pretty nice. Got some gnarly looking seam marks there where it's put together or pulled from the mold. So it doesn't look like it actually fits together all that well. But hey, you know, beggars can't be choosers. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. It looks like he could probably hold that in his hand. Not very good because it just slides up in there. And it doesn't stay, well, there we go, it just fell out. So it doesn't stay in his hand very well. We're just gonna stick that over to the side there. All right, so let's take a look at the action figure himself, just the sculpt here. That's pretty good. Guy Gardner. Reminds me a lot of his look from the JLA, or the Justice League International with the bowl cut, real skint around the sides. Nice representation. Look at the ring on his finger. Woo, phew. Really like this thing. I don't understand the belt all that much. A little too over the top there, as you can see how it connects in the back. It reminds me of like He-Man, Masters of the Universe figures. His big old boots, they're pretty cool too. Big rubber boots. I wonder if they come off. Yes, they do. Look at there. They do come off. It's kind of cool. That's really cool. Like that. Alrighty, so other than that, sculpt looks good. There's really no paint on this thing other than the ring there, and they did a good job on that. And the face, they did a good job there too. But other than that, man, this thing, I'm not a fan. Not a fan of these cloth figures. He's kind of loose too, just real loose. I guess if you know, like anything, if you had like just a ton of them and lined up on a shelf, they would probably look good together because they all have the same thematic look to them. And it would, you know, once you get a whole pile, then it starts looking really good. But other than that, I'm just not crazy on this, that 70s style action figure with the cloth goods. Like, look at his, like, supposedly gauntlets. They just look horrible. This is meant to attract a different type of collector, one from the 70s. And hey, I had a couple of Megos when I was growing up, you know, so I can't complain. I had them, I played with them, I thought they were cool at the time, but you know, as you grow up, things change. I don't like the collar. It just looks so big and so, like, I know it's supposed to be big, but it just looks unruly because the size of this figure, and just they can't replicate real cloth goods on a figure this size. It's nearly impossible because of the stitching. That's what I don't like about it. As far as articulation goes, his head turns all the way around. Arms can lift up pretty good. Can they turn? Yeah, he can turn all the way around, but you can't because of the cloth. Bends at the elbow. Wrist turn all the way around and can move that way and that way. So he has good mobility there. Can he turn at the waist? And he can turn a little bit at the waist, yeah. Legs, oh, he can do a good split. That way too. Does his knee bend? Yes, his knee bends. Ankle, I don't know. Let's take that off. Ankles do bend, and he had no toe articulation. Ankles, he does have ankle articulation, but these boots are so big, you're not really going to get much out of that. So other than that, you know, if you're a big fan of Guy Gardner like I am, you're going to be proud to own this. I absolutely love this action figure just because it's Guy Gardner. I love Guy Gardner. He's my favorite Green Lantern. So that's what makes me love this figure. Aside from that, would I get other figures from this line? Of course I would, just because I love DC Comics. I love the toys. I love all of the characters. So of course I would, but would I like actively seek this out? No. If I saw it on a clearance aisle for like $5, yeah, I'd pick them all up in a heartbeat. But I'm not going to pay. I don't know what this thing was, you know, retail for when it first came out. I would probably assume around $19.99, and that's just too much for this style figure. So how does this thing scale with something like a Figures Toy Company figure? Well, there you go. I think they are roughly about the same height. So that's pretty cool. El Dorado, Guy Gardner. Of course, this figure's a little bit bigger. I'm assuming that he probably looks like this pretty much underneath there. So, you know, if you're a fan of this era type of toys, you're gonna love them. I guarantee you're gonna love them because they are pretty cool. I think this might have a better head sculpt than that, but this is based on the Super Friends cartoon, so he's supposed to have a little more cartoony look to him. But there he is. There is the Guy Gardner retro action figure from Mattel. Did you have this figure? If so, leave your comments below. Tell me what you think about him. Also, if you will, hit that subscribe button, that like button. I sure would appreciate it. You can find me on social media, DC Collectors, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And please reach out, talk to me. I love talking DC Comics toys. And you can find me on DCCollectors.com each and every day. Until next time!